In this LearnBryan tutorial, we're going to be looking at the dashboard for one of your classes and how to navigate your way around it. Um, this is going to, there's going to be a lot of new information here. So in this video, we're going to start off by looking at the menu items running along the top of the screen. The first couple of these should be familiar at this point. The first button is the home button, which takes you back to your home page. The dashboard button is going to bring you back to this page from any of the other pages within this class. So those two are pretty straightforward. Now we're going to take a look at the calendar, which is very customizable and will be really useful in organizing the different events, assignments, and any other meetings associated with this class. So from going into the calendar, we can see that this is currently showing a weekly view. And so for each of the days, we see the assignments that are associated with that day. These are all assignments that are ending on the days that they're showing up. And if new assignments were starting, we'd also be seeing those times. We can view the next week by coming over and clicking the next button, and can also go back to look at previous weeks with the previous button. No matter where we've gone, if we're several weeks ahead, we can click today, and this will bring us back to the current week, so we can see the day that we are on right now. You can also view all of this in a monthly view, where there's going to be a row for each of the remaining weeks of the class. Actually, it also shows completed weeks of the class, so you'll see the entire class here, each week getting a row. The day view will actually list meeting times, so you can scroll through the different times and see when meetings with students, class sessions, when anything like that is going to be taking place. If you wanted to add an event to your calendar, then you would click the button here that says Add Class Event, and this is going to add an event that can be viewed by other teachers or students within the class. So you would enter a title here, and you can then color code it based on what kind of event this is going to be. Perhaps you want to make your student meetings green and make any class sessions purple, or however you want to organize it. You can color code it so that you can take in more with just a glance at the calendar. Then enter a event description. You can decide whether this is going to be recurring on a weekly basis or whether it's a one-time event. And then you can input the calendar date for when this is going to be taking place. So let's say tomorrow. For the start time, keep in mind that these clocks are military time. So if you want it to start at 1 p.m., you'll want to scroll over to where you get to 13 and then set done. Then you get to pick who from the class is going to be able to actually access this. So if it's going to be a one-on-one writing tutorial with Luke Moonwalker, then we can highlight Luke there, leave ourselves highlighted obviously, and then click Save. And we have our new event all set up. Going back to the calendar, you see that you also can add a personal event. And this works the same as adding a class event, except in this case, it's something that only you are going to be able to view. So something that you know you need to work on that day, but nobody else needs to know. And beyond that, that's going to be completed the same way you would add a class event. Next, we'll take a look at the My Calendar tabs over here on the left. Here, we can actually expand what we're viewing on the right by making it so that we see assignments for all of our current classes. So if we click all current classes, then we're going to be seeing information from all of these three. Down below that we have type, and here you can filter the types of calendar events. So if we have all tasks clicked, then we're going to see all the different types of assignments all showing up on here. But if we just wanted to look at the quizzes, for instance, we could turn those check marks off and just show the quizzes for all of our classes with that weekly calendar. As you see here, each one of the classes gets a row that's going to show the quizzes for that week in that class. So it's easy to keep track of which events are associated with each class. You can see the class name over here on the right. You can also turn off or turn on your personal events with that button under type, and personal events can also be set to high priority, medium, or low priority if you want to set yours up that way. Finally, below that, you can see status, and this will be particularly useful for students. You can have it checked so that assignments that are due now are going to be showing up, or assignments that are overdue are showing up along with the due assignments. So if a student has fallen behind and you're giving them a chance to get caught up, they can look at what needs to be done without having to also see all of the assignments they've completed. So this is all highly customizable from the teacher end and also from the student end. The next button over is course. And the first item on here is course material. And you have 8 different ways of looking at the course material through this web page. And this can be a little bit overwhelming with all of the different options, but I'm going to try and clarify why each one of these would be useful. The first one is course content, and this will literally list all of the assignments and all of the documents that have been uploaded for this class. So we can see everything from here. And this would be useful if we want to quickly search for all of the drills and have a look at those. Or if we wanted to look at all of the drills between a certain date and another date. For instance, if we wanted to see the drills coming up for the rest of the class. We could type in drill here, and we could enter the dates that are remaining for the class, and then click search. And it would give us a list just of those items. So this is good if you want to be able to filter the documents for your assignment. You can also click on type and filter it that way by clicking on quiz and then just seeing the quizzes for the class. So this is a way of quickly looking at all of the assignments, and when you click on each one of these, that's going to take you to the information about that particular assignment, as well as whether or not your students have turned that in yet. So it'll give you the number of questions, if there is a score on that assignment, you'll see that here as well, how long your students took in completing it, and also see the submissions for that assignment. So that's your course content button. And the next item down is going to be, well, let's take a look. Actually, you can look at study material as well. So tasks, this is going to show up any work that your students need to complete. However, study material, here you can access the assignment information that isn't an actual turned-in assignment. So we can see our readings and videos and that sort of information listed under the study material. Clicking on the plus by any of these items is going to give us the details about what's there, and we can make modifications to any of these items or any of the tasks through this green gear on the right. We can choose whether or not students see this item with the hide button. We can edit it with the edit content button. We can change the order that it's showing up in this list with move, or we can remove it completely with the delete button. So these are all options that we have for what we can do with these items if we need to make changes. Do keep in mind, though, that your assignments, once they've actually launched, cannot be modified. So you want to make sure that before the start date of that assignment, before students can begin reading and completing that assignment, that you've made all necessary changes. The next item down is course outline. And from here, we see a breakdown by week. By clicking on the plus icon, we can see what information there is for the topic, for prepare, collaborate, and apply. So the whole learning model, all of the items are listed here. The information listed under topic can be changed here, and then if you go down below, if it's still possible to make changes, you can save those changes. The Prepare button, this is going to show you all of the readings for that first week. So instead of needing to filter them by date, we can just go to week 1 and view them that way if we know that's what we want to focus on, the week 1 material. Collaborate also, this will show you each of the assignments for Collaborate in week 1, and you can access these. So Course Outline breaks everything down by the week in a very easy to navigate way. The gear over to the right in this section gives you the chance to add a topic if for some reason you needed to add one. So if you had a 6-week class and we're adding a 6th week, this is where you would do that, but I'm pretty sure that you won't be needing to add topics along here. The arrows allow you the chance to change the order that these weeks show up on the list. It's not going to do anything more substantive than that, but you can alter the order if there's a better logical way for them to be ordered. Then we come to Course Schedule, and this is a view that shows all of the learning objectives listed above. The Prepare, Collaborate, and Apply are each displayed in a column here, and all of the information is going to show up on this page. So unlike the course outline view, we're not just going to go down to a particular week and click the plus icon to view what's there. We can scroll down and we can see all 5 of the weeks in this simple layout. So we can go to the week that we want to have a look at, and if we need to make any changes to assignments that have not launched yet, we can click this green clock over here on the right. We can change the visibility status, so we could make it so that this particular reading is only viewable during the time that the student is supposed to be reading it, or we could expand that if we wanted to. So that's the benefit of the course schedule view. Course details is going to give you and your students some of the more introductory information about this class. We have the title, a description of what the course is going to cover, information about the textbook, a sense of what the work for this assignment is going to be, and what the time breakdown is going to be for how long it's going to take to do each part of this, as well as some of the really technical information like the course number, the course version number, start dates, but it'll also have your objectives listed down below. Class details, start date, end date. Most of this is probably not going to be that important for you or your students. And then class schedule, this is where you're going to actually see what sessions are scheduled. So we see the list of the actual synchronous sessions here. And if we wanted to add a lecture, we could come over to the Add Lecture button, and this is where we would do that. We'll go in more detail into that later. If we needed to make some changes to one of the scheduled meetings, then this gear is where we would make those changes. We would click on Modify, and from there we would be able to make those changes to the start time, the end time, or even the date that it's going to be taking place. Below that we have Gradebook, and this is going to show you not the grades that particular students have, but how the grade is broken down among the different assignments. So we can see that the drills are worth 0 points because they're just practice opportunity. The quizzes are each worth 20. Let's say, for instance, we wanted to make that final quiz worth more points because it's cumulative. What we would need to do is we have a box here that says equal weightage to all items. We would uncheck that, and now we should be able to edit the percentages here and adjust them so that that final quiz is going to be worth a little bit more, and each of the other weekly quizzes are worth just a little bit less. We can also add new items to this list if for some reason we need to by clicking the Add Item button. So all of the categories are broken up in this way, where you can make little adjustments to how much weight is given to each assignment. And you can see the total percentage weight for each of these categories in a really simple layout. Grade scale is going to be standard for your university. And this will just be a reminder of what percentage is needed in order to get a particular letter grade. So in order to get an A minus, we see that the necessary GPA value is 3.7. And we see what exactly that means over here on interpretation of level of performance. So that is our gradebook. And the next item over is going to be the Connect item. So let's take a look here at Connect. What you'll notice in the menu bar is that next to the word Connect you have a number 2. And this means that you have 2 notifications here. Sorry, not notifications, but that you have 2 Connect messages of some kind. So this would be any posts made to the forums that you're getting notified about, or any posts to the class wall. So if we click Class Forum, then we will see the messages that have come through to us through the forums. Class Wall also will see the number that will show us how many unread messages are on the wall. But we're going to go into these 2 in much more detail later. So let's jump ahead and take a look at the roster. This will be helpful to take a look at now. From going to Connect and then down to Roster, you can see all of your students listed, and can also see the different staff members associated with the class. So I'm logged in here as Heather, and if I wanted to add some office hours for Heather, I could do it by clicking Add Office Hours here and setting up what times and dates these are going to take place. Then I would click Save, and now automatically, without needing to do anything else, that's going to show up on my calendar, and my students are going to see my office hours as well. From here, you can also alter your profile, and when going into the profile, you can read over what is currently listed for you, and you can click this Edit button right here to make any changes that you need to make. You can enter a lot of information down here, some of which is probably not necessary, such as address, work experience. So this is also where you would go if you wanted to change or add a picture, or get rid of the picture you have now. Next to your name, Change Picture will give you the chance to upload a new picture. Remove Picture will give you the chance to just remove the one that you currently have showing. File Cabinet we'll be discussing in a later video. So let's take a look. Actually, all of these titles under Connect at the end here will be focused on later. So the next thing we want to take a quick look at is under Reports, and this is going to be your gradebook. So we've seen how you find your students, how you can get a lot of the information about your students, and you've also seen where you need to go if you want to view the point allocations for your assignments. But going into the gradebook, this will actually give you the chance to see how students are doing. For each of these assignments, we can see, first off, the type of assignment it is. And we can filter this so that we can just look at a certain type of assignment. We see how many students are left to be graded. And of those graded assignments, we can also see how many grades have not yet been published. So which ones have been graded, but the actual grade is not posted yet. We can see the due dates for the particular assignments, and we can actually organize these assignments by the due date. So if we want to see the earliest due assignment and see how many we still need to grade there, then we would click to make sure that the earliest date is showing at the top, and then we could work our way down the assignments that way. Again, from here, you can click on each of these assignments and actually go to the page for that assignment. So this is all linked together in a way that makes it really easy to get information and then go back to make modifications to that assignment or take a look at what exactly that assignment entails. That's what you get when you look at the status bar. Class Summary is going to give you a view based on each student's performance instead. So we'll see the usernames listed here, the institution they're associated with, or the institution ID, I mean. then the score that they currently have in the class, followed by the percentage that that comes down to, and then, because we have the grading scale also on here, we can see what the actual grade is right now. So this gives us a lot of information, and other than actually going through and grading the assignments, there's not a lot we have to input, which is going to be really handy and hopefully save some time. We'll also see their current GPA. And if we want more detail on this particular student, we can click View Summary. And now we get a view assignment by assignment on what point value this student has received on each assignment, which ones still need to be turned in, and we can also tell if there are some assignments that still need to be graded for this student. And let's see, we'll go back to the main class summary page by clicking Class Summary right here in the bar next to the student's name. So this is how we would go back one page if we needed to and wanted to take a look at our next student on that list. So then I can take a look at, well, that's the quick personal information view, but I could view summary on the next student down, have a look at how their work is going, and then click on class summary to return again to this page. Downloading grades is going to be the next thing you may want to do, and by clicking download grades, this will give you the chance to export your grades as an Excel spreadsheet, which is a fairly simple process, which we'll go over. Then the next, so that's a little bit about what's going to be going on in the gradebook. And we'll talk some more about reports later. This time around, we really want to get the essentials. Library is going to be something that's still in the works right now, so we're not going to spend time focusing on that yet. Messages, this is where you're going to see your notifications and your announcements. So we see the 25 here showing us how many we have. Once we click on notifications, this will give us a list of all of them. The ones that we've already read are going to show up in white. The ones that we've not read are going to show up in this beige color. And we can read through these, go to the next page by clicking Next down below. We can also sort these by the date range of notifications we want to look at. You can also enter title if you, enter something in the search by box. And this could be useful if you want to look at just notifications having to do with student quizzes. You could type quiz in here and then hit go. You can also, from this page, select what sorts of notifications you receive. The essence of what's different about notifications versus announcements is that notifications are going to have to do with students turning in assignments, students posting to forums. When different actions are taken in this class webpage, you'll get notifications about it. You can control what those notifications are associated with through notification settings. So let's take a quick look there. Now here, we see the different items that we can get notifications for, and we can also decide how important it is that we get these notifications right away. So if we want to know when students submit assignment as it happens, then we can click that and we'll receive an email notification. We can also, if we want to, get this information provided to us by text message by clicking under the SMS. This is going to send a text message to the mobile number that's associated with your account. Pop-up will make it so that when you log into LearnBryan, you actually get a pop-up screen that gives you a notification on that instantly. However, if you didn't want to see all of the assignments every time they happen and just wanted to get daily updates, then you could click Daily Digest. Or if you'd rather just look at the assignments when you log in and are having a look at your grading tasks, then you could click None and you won't receive any notification from that. So if you wanted to enter a phone number so that you could get these text messages, then you would go to Mobile Number here at the top of the My Notifications screen and click to change. Then enter your number as well as the carrier here and save. You can also change the email address that that your notifications are being sent to if there's a different one that's more handy for you to get that information from. By clicking pop-up alerts, this is where you get the chance to an extent, control what messages are going to be sent out to your students when different things are done on the web page. However, keep in mind that students can also alter their notifications by coming to the same part of their LearnBryan screen. So let's take a look back here at my notifications. We've looked at how to register a new email, how to change your number, and we've seen all of these different categories that we can adjust, which your students also can adjust on their end. And then once you've made changes to what you want to receive notifications on, you can click Save down below, and it'll maintain that information. So that's notifications. Announcements work pretty much the same way, except the main difference here is notifications, these are going to be associated to when something's done on the page. An announcement is something that's sent out by one of the instructors to all the members of the class. So we can see that Mary Elizabeth has been sending out some announcements here, and we have not been very diligent about reading them, so we could come in here and read those now. You can also, because we are an instructor in this class, we can edit the already sent message by clicking the Edit button over here. We can remove this by clicking the Deactivate button and then clicking OK. And so now our students will not be seeing that one when they come here. Also, if we want to send out an announcement to our class, this is where we would go and click the New Announcement button here. Once we've done that, we again will need a title, we'll need a description. We can attach files to this, and there's a list of all the different possible files you can attach, but this will include PowerPoint, documents, and even audio files of certain types. So there's a lot of options you have in what you can send as an announcement to your students. Then we can also set the start and the end time for when this announcement is going to show up, and whether or not our students and other faculty members in this class can reply to this announcement. We just looked at how to create a new class announcement. So that's the difference between your notifications and your announcements. And that covers all of the different parts of the menu bar from your dashboard screen. In the next video, we're going to take a look at these boxes that are down below and talk about how you can use each one of those effectively.